Nothing, just putting together the end of year best of show.
Oh, a clip show.
It's more than a clip show. It's art.
So it only took you a year to jump the shark? Way to go, Flons.
All right. I gotta go. Mark, welcome in. You're coming in to do cleanup duty today.
I love cleanup duty. Hello, Scott.
Have you got any New Year's resolutions?
No, I have a staunch protocol to never have them.
That's kind of a resolution, isn't it?
They're kind of like the ROUSs. I don't believe they exist.
Okay. All right.
You know that reference, right?
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Explain it to the folks.
Rodents of unusual size in the fire swamp in the Princess Bride movie.
I do believe that.
And it turns out they exist.
Is there a funnier scene in a movie than when they're going up that mountain with the rope? Are they walking at normal speed?
Slow going?
Yes. So funny.
Slow going? Although the best part of the movie for me is when he gets to the top and the guy's like, no, take a break. He's like, all right, thanks. He's taking the rocks out of his shoes and stuff, and they're just chatting. And he goes, you seem a decent fellow. I hate to kill you.
Right.
And then the other guy goes, you seem a decent fellow. I hate to die. Great line. Great writing.
Yeah. Too bad Meathead directed it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did a good job, though.
Yeah, he did.
He did. That was Rob Reiner. Yeah.
I hear the new Spinal Tap is pretty good.
Is it out yet?
I think so. I think it's streaming.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to watch that. That's yeah. And I think it's great too because those guys just look legit like older versions of themselves. They're gonna be able to pull it off pretty well.
Well, there's a reason, Mark. They're older versions of themselves.
I understand that. Yeah. But my point was they're lucky that they're all still around and
that's a different deal. And yes, they are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. Like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be driven by the fans that called in and made comments. Let's start with
both of them.
Yes. Well, I think he changed his voice. There might be one.
Okay, same guy.
Lawn Chair Larry was a popular episode that we had. You guys can find that. I will link all of these to the show notes. You mentioned, you know what? Let's listen to it. Let's listen to Mark explain the problem with trying to lift your lawn chair with regular party balloons and string.
You know, I think I'd be willing to bet, throw a little science at you here. I bet if you try to do it with normal sized helium balloons, the weight of the string would be too much. You would need so much string to hold so many balloons that the weight of the string would actually become an issue. But if you think of the weight of a string to the lifting power of a weather balloon, then it's a non-issue.
You know, when your crappy birthday balloons when you're a kid, when they start to deflate, if you snip that string off of them, it would go to the ceiling.
Yeah, right.
Because
exactly the weight
right.
of the string. Right.
I did not think of that.
I mean, you know, he did it with 42 weather balloons, right?
Yes.
So if you did it with, I mean, let's say it would take 300 normal weather, balloons to get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just do some quick math. So let's see. Probably 300 is probably conservative. So 42 times 300 is 12,600. 12,600 balloons. Let's say each one had 8 feet of string. No, some of them are going to have a lot more than that. Let's say some of them had 30 or 40 feet of string going to it, because we have to, so the balloons should stay on each other's length. You have 12,000 balloons, right? So let's say the average mean length of string was 20 feet, so times 20, that's 252,000 feet of string that you would need. So let's say 1 foot of string weighs an ounce. So that would be 252,000 ounces. So divided by 16, that's 15,000 pounds of string.
You wouldn't believe the things I have to edit when we do these. People listen to this when they drive, Mark.
But I'm not wrong. If you try to do this with regular balloons, you would have 15,000 pounds of just string.
Yeah. All right. That's Mark doing what Mark does in a very Mark way. Someone called in and left a comment. Actually, they wrote this one. The rocket conundrum that Mark talked about is true, but what you guys didn't consider as well is when a kite string attached to so many balloons rises through a cloud, those strings are now instantly 40 times heavier because of the moisture absorption.
But did he go through any clouds?
Well, you gotta figure. Like,
Yeah. Well, let's assume he did, and that person is absolutely right. I didn't consider that, but also I don't think I assumed he went through any clouds. I don't think he would have attempted it if it was a cloudy day.
oh, he went up into the flight pattern. Like, he went way higher than he thought he would.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
a cloud might be the least of his worries.
Yeah. But let's think about that for a second. I think that's absolutely right. Think about a kite string. It's going to be a very long string. And, an average droplet of water,
No,
condensation
absolutely
weighs
not.
whatever
No.
it weighs.
Absolutely not. I'm not letting this happen again.
I agree with what that guy said.
Okay, very good. That episode's available.
Yeah.
We also covered the Yugo in an episode with a buddy of mine, Chase Kamek. 2 comments. I had 3 Yugos and loved those cars. I did not expect that one. This one, this guy
That person was mentally ill.
this guy is from Virginia. I had a Yugo that died at a traffic light less than a week after I bought it brand new.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds right.
When I was a kid, we had the station wagon version of that. Do you remember that one?
You had a Yugo?
Yeah, they had a station wagon version of it. They had a little bit more room in the back and 4 doors. It was called a Wego.
I don't have any memory of this at all. Your family actually drove around in that. That's not a thing, is it?
No.
Yeah, Wego. I get it.
I've had better success with that one in the past.
It's a clip show.
Mostly because people immediately got it.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah. Well, you talk to a higher grade. All right, let's go. All right, we covered the reboot of Knight Rider by buddy Adam Fuller. He made the case that Kit was always kind of a jerk, kind of an uppity. He didn't suffer Michael Knight's foolishness much, so he had this idea. I'll play the clip. And also, I thought that Gilbert Gottfried would be a great idea for the voice of Kit in the new movie. Too bad he can't do it. He's not available.
I can't even imagine that.
Right. Can't imagine he'd be the original Michael Knight.
He may have a cameo.
Look, here's the tragedy about this is that now they could open it up and they could just, you know what? I hate the term reimagine. Stupid, but they could take some license here. My biggest regret here is that Gilbert Gottfried passed away and he can't be the voice.
All right, that's a wrap.
Who
Hey,
was
Mark,
the
let's
original
cram a few
voice
more
of
in
Kit?
here.
I don't know, but can you imagine? Michael,
All right.
for God's sake, you're doing 70 in a
All right,
school
let's hit the
zone.
highlights and get out of here.
You're not David Copperfield,
Oh my
David,
God.
you idiot.
Oh,
And what is with the turbo? Why are we always zooming around? Like, that's a shame. Got a note here. There's all kinds of great cameos that could do a reunion. But since Gilbert Gottfried isn't available for the voice, maybe Stephen Wright, said this guy from Tennessee.
So a very deadpan, very almost sound asleep Kit.
Yeah. I think I'm going to turn right. All right. I don't think it matters much. Like, I can't imagine that really carrying a story, but maybe. I mean, subtle sometimes is better than over the top.
Kit, map out a route on Waze. I'm sorry, Michael, but my map is normal size. It's 1-to-1.
Yeah, that's that might be a swing and a miss there. But they've got a I don't know. I'm still up in the air of this one. I don't know if I'm gonna. I'll probably watch it. I think I said
I don't. That may fall under the category of something that shouldn't have been remade.
Oh, we'll see. A lot of those.
But we'll see.
happening.
We'll give it a shot, right? Yeah,
Yep.
it's worth looking at.
So a very recent episode, we covered Milli Vanilli. Half of Milli Vanilli, Milli or Vanilli, is up for a Grammy of all things. This writer says, I saw Milli Vanilli on that tour. I say, give it to the llama.
You think the Dalai Lama can't sing for shit? I say, let's give it to the Vanilli. Have you heard the Dalai? No, that's a no-brainer. The Vanilli gets the Grammy.
Yeah, all right. We can hope. We can hope for that. That was a fun episode. My buddy Rick sat in on that one. He's a musician, and he was all for it.
Yeah.
He said, give it to Fab. Like he did let him do his victory lap, and his suggestion was to save his money this time. But I hope they both show up.
To the awards.
Yeah, it'd be embarrassing if the Dalai Lama the same thing.
If the Dalai,
yeah, I don't look for that either.
No. Dolly, what are you wearing, Tom Ford? All right.
I'm wearing capri pants and a half shirt. No way. You're not going to believe that. You're not going to believe this.
Me too.
Yeah. This is the first time Fab has been Grammy nominated. This is the press release in 35 years, ever since the original duo's 1990 implosion and their Best New Artist Grammy was revoked.
Yep. All right. I'm down. Let's do it.
All right. So one of the most popular episodes of the year was the Great State Fair of Oklahoma. Turns out, when we talked about Bobo the Clown, the jerk in the box he had tried to sink with a ball, turns out this was
tank.
like a traveling show. I had several people mention him. In other states, this guy in Ohio says Bobo must have traveled the country because I remember him at state fairs in Ohio. And yeah, he was a son of a bitch. So it's the same guy.
Wait, so it was the same Bobo all over the country? It wasn't like a franchise kind of thing?
That was crazy. You got to remember Dunk Tank guy, Scott, the Dunk Tank clown.
I'm going to tell you something. His name was it Bobo?
It was some...
I think there was a Bobo there at one point.
I'm going to tell you something. He is a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Imagine being a fat, redheaded kid.
Nope, you're screwed.
That waddles up there. Oh, he laid into me.
He was like some weird redneck wizard who could see people's insecurities. And like me as a kid, I would come by and he'd be like, "Oh, you're scared to talk in public." Like, whoa, like, how does this guy know this? Like, like, it's insane.
Oh, there's Scott. His Uncle Bob touched him when he was 4.
How do you know this?
Well, when I think about it, I can't imagine the dude in the Bachman Turner Overdrive shirt and the mullet that's running the tilt-a-whirl.
Yeah.
It's probably a traveling carnival that sets up and at state fair time.
Can you imagine what that dude's room looks like in the RV?
No,
just imagine.
I just assumed it was like a bundle of sticks being drugged by a horse, like those old Western. Like I bet it. No.
Well, those guys they travel down the road in semis and really beat up motorhomes.
So how do they know? How do they know which pile is the Coke and which is the powdered sugar from the funnel cakes?
You snort both, and one's going to work and one isn't.
Trial and error.
Yeah, one's going to make you thirsty, one's going to make you hungry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now, an episode we did recently was the Thanksgiving episode. Well, it was the Black Friday episode, the day after Thanksgiving, and we covered that show. Went over really big. A lot of comments from there. There is a lady in Michigan that said you missed Care Bears, Beanie Babies, and Furbies on your list of hard to find Christmas toys. That sounds like a mother of older children, or at least a grandmother now that's a veteran of some of those wars.
I don't know that we miss them so much as it was just PTSD and we just forgot that they existed.
Right. Yeah, that was that was a good one. That show got so many.
That was
comments.
A fun one to do.
Yeah, it was. It got a lot of comments and a lot of people. It struck a nerve because you don't want to disappoint a kid at Christmas until you oversleep and you don't get the stuffed whatever. I remember it was an early CNN report where a woman was walking out with some big box of something, and her hair was messed up and like her jacket was stolen. And I remember a dude that was bleeding one time on the news. Like they were getting at it over something because you want to celebrate the birth of the savior by beating somebody's ass for a teddy bear.
A Cabbage Patch Kid. Right.
Right.
Yeah, that was what,
Yeah,
early
boy.
80s, the Cabbage Patch Kids? I mean, Cabbage Patch Kids, I think, were the first thing I personally remember society going berserk over. Speaking of which, have you, I know you've probably got a staple of Christmas movies that you try to watch every year. Die Hard, whatever. Have you watched Violent Night?
I have not.
Oh, dude, you got to watch Violent Night. It will become an every year movie for you. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's real good.
Okay. Who's in it?
John Leguizamo is the bad guy.
I will check that out. Do you know if it's streaming?
That's all I got to say. Yeah. I think it's either Amazon or Netflix, one of those.
Okay. So, speaking of movies, we got quite a few comments. October 24th, we downloaded, or it was available for download, Great Scott. The movie from our childhood is 40 years old. Our look at Back to the Future. So many comments about, well, if Marty could do this, why couldn't he do that? And if time travel this, and everybody trying to poke holes in it. I wanted to tell them all, look, I'm beginning to believe none of this really happened.
I still believe it happened. I'm a true believer, man.
It is just
science be damned.
Here's another deal. Back in the 80s, people went to be entertained.
Mm-hmm.
They watched the story and they were entertained by it. Now everybody's some gumshoe detective and wants to have a hot take online and just tear down the icons. Man, just enjoy it for what it is. I don't know anybody that tried to say this is a biopic of a guy in the 50s that developed time travel.
Well, here's the problem with it. The reason you can't really do something like that is because you don't have to just time travel. You have to travel through space as well, because the Earth is spinning around the sun. The entire galaxy is traveling through is circling around the Milky Way, which itself is traveling through. So if you were to travel through time for even 10 seconds, you're going to appear out in the middle of space somewhere. You're not going to be in the same spot.
I am not going to let this happen again. Second time I've told you, hey, settle down, Bill Nye.
There's no way it's going to happen, but it's a great movie though.
It is a great movie. I suspect Laura Dern's never actually seen a dinosaur.
Well, other than Sam Neill.
People are going to need to look that one up.
He's the guy that was in the Jeep with her, that was driving. The guy that reached down and turned her head so she could see the dinosaur.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. They might even, they'll figure it out. Another one that got a ton of comments. October 17th, U2 killed the video star, the final gasp of MTV. I got so many inside stories from people who either worked there or, well, I say so many, a handful of stories of really what shook the foundation there and what brought that down. Turns out it's like we suspected. Those reality shows are just so cheap to produce. And the shifting landscape of music, it doesn't make sense. Nobody would watch now.
I think I told you back when we did that episode, I was in the audience for one of the episodes of the remote control game show that they had.
Right.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We did a college field trip into New York City, and we got to sit in on one of those.
You're part of the problem.
I am the problem.
Happy New Year, everyone. What a great time to stop and thank all the guests that I've had this year, all the listeners who have held on, the new listeners we picked up, and the comments that you've brought into the show. It's very gratifying, and thank you, everyone. We look forward to a great 2026, and we've got a lot planned for this year. So stick around. Again, thank you very much. Hit us up on socials and be part of the show. All right, back to this year-end wrap-up. So earlier in the year, we had an episode in August, Money Can't Buy Happiness, but it can buy Eddie Van Halen's guitar. And turns out a lot of it can. 2.7 million is what that thing eventually went for at Sotheby's.
Amazing. And you're an idiot if you buy that guitar and ever play it.
Oh no, it's going in a frame.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's like an original Steve Austin Bionic Man still in the packaging.
All right, a couple more here. We had an episode back in April that my buddy Jed imagined what the early days of Evil Knievel might have looked like.
He just started jumping things as a kid with his motorcycle and just, had some good fortune that
Right.
say, hey man, I bet I can jump that and just keep going. Well, let me get the camera. Hold on, Bobby. Let me get the camera. It's evil. My name's Evil, Martha. Bobby, just wait. I want to take a picture of this. Call me Evil. God,
Oh, Mom, did you make my cape?
did you sew the stars on the cape, Mom? Mom, I told you to sew them stars on the cape.
That got a lot of comments. Pretty funny bit. Jed's a funny dude. But turns out the story of Evil Knievel was more interesting than the failed jumps, which were a lot. All right, a couple of more. These were two of the more popular episodes. One of them you were on. It was from early May, Stick Your Hand All the Way Up There, the Sesame Street episode.
That was a fun one.
It was a fun one. You imagine what it may be like inside Oscar's trash can. That got a lot of comments.
Yeah, because you had to imagine it because they never showed it. So, and if I remember right, we were imagining some lush, multi-story penthouse studio. Did they ever show what the inside of his garbage can looks like?
No, I wish they would have.
Yeah, but Oscar goes down into his garbage can and then there's like 6 levels of like luxury apartment down there.
Right? He's got a grotto.
And every now and then somebody actually throws trash down it and he's like, son of a...
I wouldn't, I don't have a problem with that at all. So a lot of people chimed in on what else they thought might be down there. Some of it got kind of dark, but yeah, that was a fun one.
Sex trafficking ring.
A meth lab. Probably not that. All right. So we're going to mention, actually, I'm going to have an update to this episode this year with a group that does true crime in Oklahoma. It's a storytelling humor podcast, but we did what is hands down the most downloaded episode of the year. It's called I Am the Batman with my buddy Chad Goucher, about a teacher at my 8th grade school that, well, he beat his wife to death with a baseball bat.
I'm trying to think of something funny, but I got nothing.
Yeah. It's while school was going on.
Okay.
Chad provided that.
The way I heard about it was my dad woke me up that morning, the morning after it happened, because I guess it was all over the news.
Yes.
Early in the morning. He woke me up, and this was my dad's comment was, I don't think you're going to have practice today. That was, and I was like, what do you mean?
Dads.
He's like, well, dads, right? He's just like, I don't think you're going to have practice today. And so then he said, you come in here and watch the news. And so go in there and, it's the local newscast. And of course that's all they were talking about on the news.
Okay. So that's how we handled that particular thing.
80s latchkey kids, for the win.
Yeah, that's a good point. What are you going to do?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Batman is one that I'm certainly going to link on here. It was, like I said, the most downloaded episode we've done by far. And it's just a crazy, crazy story of the resilience of that generation, or frankly, just the negligence. But it's a good story. One of my favorites. And this actually may have gotten more comments than any other podcast that we've downloaded or had available for download. Mushroom Clouds and Milk Money, the day after in the Gen X fallout.
That movie, Mark, we could talk about that movie for hours on end.
You did this episode with me, and it was thought-provoking. It brought back so many memories.
Yeah.
We mentioned my old boss, Tim Thompson, and he texted me and said, that's dead on. Like when I passed those silos as a kid, and I knew, well, if it hits the fan, we're all done.
Yeah, I
I
remember.
can't imagine growing up close to that.
Remember talking about that. A lot of those silos nowadays are privately owned and turned into like apartments and stuff.
There's an Airbnb in the middle of a cornfield in Missouri
Yeah.
that's available to rent.
That'd be kind of
I
neat.
looked it up.
I would stay in one of those. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad. Let's see. So in this episode, we mentioned my science class the day after this movie aired, and he's addressing the class. Take a listen. So this is the one where he's telling us what our skin would look like after Tinker Air Force Base was hit, and the girl with the Care Bear shirt. It would just all those colors on her shirt.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, the day after.
Yeah.
I'm at Northmore Elementary School. Like I said, it was terrifying. Mr. Gordon was my science teacher. Remember the girl from my story about the TRS-80 that went to the library with me?
Yeah.
Well, she's sitting next to me, and I had a University of Georgia Bulldog jersey on. And he said, Scott, we're a few miles from Tinker Air Force Base where they have the AWACS planes. It is a high-value target. We will be one of the first to get hit, and you will have your skin burned, and it will say Georgia on your chest because the white will reflect that. And I just sat there paralyzed, like, good God. And then he turns to another girl. I can't remember her name, but she had what I think I remember was a Care Bear shirt. All the different colors and the rainbow. It looks like Walt Disney just threw up on it.
Yeah.
And he said, you're going to be a mess.
Oh my God.
Because it's going to burn based on the color
On
spectrum.
the reflective nature of the different colors.
Yes,
Yeah.
and everybody sat there so it was a fun time. It was a fun time to be a kid.
Except for the morning after watching that freaking movie. That was.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we talked about my reaction to Poltergeist too. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the day after was even worse.
Poltergeist was a good one. It had comments as well. Let me dig those up here. Oh, a lot of comments. Golly, what is up with you people in the Northeast? A couple from upstate New York and a kid from New Hampshire said that his parents took him to see The Exorcist when he was 12.
Smart move. I mean, that is
top
quality parenting.
Top shelf parenting.
That is.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably worse than Poltergeist as far as messing up the kid. But I think it's just because of my overactive imagination, and the fact that we hadn't even yet spent the first night in our new farmhouse that we just moved into out in the middle of nowhere. You mentioned a movie earlier, Poltergeist.
Yes.
My brother and I were young kids when that movie first came out, and we had just moved into a new home with my family.
82. Oh my gosh, did you really?
We moved into an old farmhouse that was built in 1880. Okay.
Oh my Lord.
With a big tree next to my window. All right. And the day we moved, before we had even spent our first night in this new house, they took me and my brother to go see Poltergeist in the movie theater.
That's good parenting.
Scott, I can't even begin to mention or describe how screwed up I was for months trying to live in that house because of all of the evil coming straight from hell that obviously was there in the house with us.
Of course.
82, I was 12 years old. I was such a huge pain in the butt to my parents because I was trying to convince them to sell the house.
Yes.
Because the tree was going to eat me.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
God, when those chairs stack themselves up on the table.
Yep.
I'm not a big horror fan at all, and I startle easily. My Lord, that scared me sideways.
Yeah. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
God, that's the perfect storm that you saw that movie right before moving into that house.
Isn't that crazy? And I mean, in my parents' defense, I don't think they had any idea what the movie was going to do to my brother and I.
Yeah, well, I can't think I don't have it. I don't have a relatable story to that. My parents took me to see Gus, the mule that could kick field goals with Don Knotts.
I remember an animal kicking field goals. That's the most I remember about that movie. That was a thing that happened.
Oh, Lou Grant was either the coach or the owner.
Oh my God, Lou Grant from Mary Tyler Moore. Yeah,
yeah, Ed Asner. It was as good as Condor Man.
It was as good as Condor Man.
Yes. My first memory, get this, your parents took you to see Poltergeist. My parents took me and my family to see Jaws. And I was young. I was probably 5 then.
Yeah.
I remember sitting on top of our station wagon with my brother, eating peanut butter sandwiches that my mom had made. You know, she packed a big lunch. You could pay extra and bring in your own food. I was on a blanket sitting there with my brother. My brother's 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
And I remember just getting stiff, because it was scary. And my brother was so cool, man. He said, "Hey, bud, that's a movie. You know, that fish isn't anywhere near Marietta, Georgia, where we were." So, yeah.
Yeah,
I know, but
but you don't know for sure.
Right. Well, hey, later, like Jaws 3, that 3D movie that was just terrible. Didn't they go to Florida or the Caribbean or somewhere, and there's Jaws, like the most grudge holdingest fish in the world, followed them down from Nantucket to the eastern seaboard. Like, so you never know. Like, we could be going home and stopping at, Krispy Kreme, and there's Jaws behind the counter, waiting to eat me. So
just waiting on you. I knew you were going to come.
Dude, you've got a better story than me. That Poltergeist, that is crazy. It's like showing like Airport 77 like on the in-flight movie or something.
Yeah, right. Which you would never do.
Right. Well,
unless you have a good sense of humor.
I flew to Europe one time and they showed the bucket list, so I probably would have rather had. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. Good
times. All right. So another one I want to hit is November of last year. Well, I guess November 24. It was the very, very beginning of the podcast, and I've lumped the whole first year as one, even though it's about 11 and a half, or I'm sorry, about 13 and a half months, but it's the first full year. It was an episode called Skinny Puppies, Squeezed Frogs, and $3.25 Parking. And it is about a concert that I attended in Oklahoma City. You ever heard of the band Skinny Puppy?
Heard of them. Couldn't tell you one of their songs, but yeah, of course I've heard of them.
They were a techno industrial mess.
Yeah.
Well, at the concert, I witnessed this. So I'm at this outdoor concert for Skinny Puppy. So, like I said, I got free tickets, so I went just to watch the people. Brother, was I ever right? There's this dude. And I used to tell this story, like there was this old guy in his 50s, which that's me now.
Oh, gosh.
He is in a terry cloth red onesie with the feet sewn in. I think he had his hands free. I don't think they were mittens.
Was there a flap in the back?
Trap door in the back.
Oh, my gosh.
The whole dude's walking around, looks like a Teletubby before they were Teletubbies. And he's got, pot belly. He's in this onesie like a toddler. I'm sure there were buttons on the legs so his diaper could get changed. So he's there, and I'm like, all right, yeah, he's ready to rock. And he had a little cooler with him. And so I'm listening to this terrible, terrible band where it had a video behind them, and it's showing like gore movies and autopsies. And it's terrible. And it's theatrical like Ozzy without the talent and without the great music. I just watch it like all of these different colored hair and the safety pins and noses and the mohawks. It's these people just standing around. So my boy there in his onesie is just rocking out. You remember Matt Pinfield from MTV?
I do.
He kind of looked like an older version of him. He looked like a cross between Matt Pinfield and Truman Capote.
Wow. That's very specific.
Yeah. Well, this night is seared into my mind. So Onesie is there just rocking out, and sometimes he would run in place, and sometimes he would just like head bob. But every once in a while, he would reach into that cooler and pull out a horny toad. Now, you're originally from Ohio, grew up in Tennessee. You may not know exactly what this is. It's the mascot for Texas Christian. It's not a frog, but they call them horny toads. It's a horned lizard. When I was a kid in central Oklahoma, they were everywhere, all over the prairie, the grasslands. You go out there and they just run everywhere. I don't see them as much anymore out there. But he had a whole box of them, because they wanted to go to the concert.
Did they not check the coolers before people come in?
I didn't think they even allowed coolers in there.
Okay.
But if there's two schools of thought on this. If you see Truman Capote coming in his onesie with his container, come on in, bud. Like,
yeah.
I don't
I understand that. It makes total sense to me.
Yeah, but then there's the over officious, guy. I didn't check your containers. After about, I'd say the first half of that crowd showing containers, I just come on in. Bring your iguana. bring your weird looking pentagram and your sage. Just come on. And so Matt Pinfield's there in his onesie, just jamming out. And he reaches in and he grabs a horny toad. And our eyes meet. Horny toad. And he pulls it out and puts the lid on because he's got friends in there. Holds up this horny toad and squeezes it and bursts that animal in his hand.
How far away are you from this guy?
I'm about 10 feet.
Oh my gosh.
And he slings it out of his hand like onto the grass. And and then wipes it off on his onesie leg. And he's like, yeah. He's just rocking out to terrible music. And I'm like, I bet you I didn't see that right.
Yeah, no, because no one takes a horny toad to a concert and destroys it with one hand.
You could have stopped
and then rocks out.
You could have stopped that sentence at any point. No one takes a horny toad to a concert.
Okay.
No one takes it out of its container. No one holds it up in triumph and squeezes it to death and then flings it to the ground.
So, future mass murderer.
Well, maybe current mass murderer.
Maybe. Already
right.
Dipping into his tradecraft.
Yeah. So that was a good time. And I've been fortunate to see a lot of great bands live. That's not one of them. But I don't know that I've ever had a better experience in a crowd than that night at the Oklahoma City Zoo Amphitheater.
Surely you've seen Guar live.
I've not seen Guar.
Oh, man. You haven't lived until you've gotten splashed in the face with alien afterbirth.
Yeah. Okay. Mark, have you ever been to a flea market?
Of course.
Okay. I had a show early on with Eddie Wilson, and I described what a day in a 10-year-old's life is at a huge flea market in Oklahoma City. And I started the show this way. Eddie, what if I told you there was a place where you could find women in hot pants and halter tops? Booths with Chinese throwing stars that featured a sign explaining that it was illegal to own these, but not illegal to sell them, and they were just for demonstration purposes only. Sand sculptures, CB radios, $2 sunglasses, people arguing in Vietnamese, Indian tacos, factory second blue jeans, cowboy boots, food poisoning, turquoise jewelry, vans, skateboards, collector spoons, harmonicas, knockoff cologne, stereos, funnel cakes, jewelry, those High Plains drifters, Clint Eastwood ponchos, stuffed animals, canteens, typewriters, baseball cards, watches, pagers, framed art, dream catchers, candy, A booth with a dude with one of those magnifying lamps tying fly fishing flies, guitars, banjos, toys, saddles, purses, candles, samurai swords, band t-shirts, bootleg band t-shirts, movies on VHS, clock radios, airbrushed car tags, airbrushed 3/4 sleeve length t-shirts, airbrushed anything you gave them, live music, car break-ins, Rambo knives that broke on the drive back home, which is bullshit because it cost $5 and the compass on the end probably worked. You're going to take it to the woods and survive off the land for an afternoon until mom said it was time to come home for dinner. But it was okay because the family was going to Del Rancho for steak sandwiches after. And we're probably going to go in, sit at the red booth, use the sticky phones with the ketchup residue on it, and it'd be one of the greatest days ever. So that's part of it. The best part of it was a list of things I got from people that listened to this episode that I missed at
That
the
you
flea
forgot about.
markets.
Oh, I bet it's grand. I bet it's spectacular.
Oil paintings, the kind on the slick lacquer that has Jesus and Elvis walking hand in hand.
Black Jesus with a tiger.
This is Oklahoma City. Slow down.
Yes, Black Jesus with a tiger.
Yes, we had
With
those.
a gold frame.
People are mentioning wobbly, brand new dining room tables, stuffed animals.
100 pairs of socks for $3.
Right. And it turns out I missed most of the stuff, and I thought there was no way I missed anything, but that's where we're at. That was a fun one. I'll link that one. Man, flea markets are something.
I
If you
missed
need
the
a
one,
torque wrench,
the one in Nashville, right by the Capitol. Have you ever been to that one?
I don't remember that.
It was pretty big. It was, I'd go there every Sunday. Just walk around and look at all the tiger paintings.
Right. So I did an episode about my first job. I had a paper route. My first ever work meeting. And, you and I have worked together. We've been to a million work meetings, some of them together.
The Titans conference
And they
room.
all start out. Yes. And they all start out the same. She sat at the dining room table and showed me how to fold these. And like any kind of job I've ever had, I started daydreaming. It was my very first work meeting. I don't know how many thousands of these I've had to endure in my professional career. So I'm doing what I do at work meetings. I start daydreaming. I'm thinking about football and my bike, and I'm not really paying attention to how to fold the papers. Let me just say it. This will be important later. She shows me how to do it. She doubles it over and rolls it up real tight, puts a rubber band around it, and easy as pie. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, okay. She showed us how to fold it because my mom would stick her head in there every once in a while, just making sure, everything's going okay. And so she got a map out and showed me the paper route and exactly where I go.
Did they give you a bag? That's what's important.
They did. They gave me a big gray canvas bag stained with the ink of important stories of northern Cleveland County.
And the sweat of the 13-year-old boy that had it before.
The blood and tears. So I take the bus. I get up early and get all the papers folded. But I didn't remember how to fold them, because it was a work meeting and they suck. And so I wasn't paying attention. So I just kind of rolled them up poster style.
Those throw better.
No, you would think they do. They do not.
Oh, okay.
So I rolled them up kind of poster style. My sister, she used to roll papers back in that era as well. It was just different.
We're talking newspapers, right?
Right. So that was no help.
Yeah.
And so I rolled these things up, rubber band around them, and they were just tubes at this point. They were not properly folded newspapers. And those didn't fly out of my paperboy bag. They just, most of them wound up like rolling down the sidewalk. Or that Oklahoma wind, I'd throw it and it would just like land in the neighbor's yard. You got a paper today, sir.
And old people, they want their paper the same way every time.
Eduardo, you have no idea. It was tedious. It was like rolled up blueprints, these papers. And so I had to go back to the house to get my second bundle because they all wouldn't fit in my huge canvas bag. because I had them folded like a dork, like I had just bought, the Cheryl Tiegs poster at Spencer's.
Mm.
And I had a bag full of them, like you suggested. I started getting complaints. So the newspaper lady called the house that night. My manager, she said, "Hey, Scott, got a few complaints about the delivery, your inaugural delivery. It didn't it didn't go well, did it?" And I said, "I forgot how to fold them."
Oh, God.
And they don't throw very far like you said they would. So I just, I told her I just drove up the driveway and put them on the porch sometimes. And that's hard and I'm lazy. Like I mentioned earlier about the editing.
Yes.
But I found a different way to do it. So I just started throwing them. And so they would fly like straight up like an airplane and come right back down. Or just like I said earlier, the Oklahoma wind would just roll them into the gutter. So that the first week was rough. She said, well, it's okay. Like through gritted teeth. She was so patient. But, her job was to manage a bunch of 12-year-old kids on bicycles. So she needed to be patient. She said, why don't you bring your mom by the office and we'll go over it again. I'll show you how to fold it. We'll set expectations for the job. And me not knowing what set expectations means truly in the business sense, like not
Right.
knowing I was about to get my first PIP at 11.
Yeah. Well, you deserved it.
I did. So we went. They were very serious about their $40 a week paper boys. So I'm there with another couple of imbeciles that went to different schools. So I didn't know who they were. And we all didn't know we were in trouble for the crap job that we did. So we sat there. We learned the fundamentals of rolling a newspaper, which I could have learned at my dining room table. But again, work meeting. I'm not going to pay attention.
Were you paying attention in this meeting?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Because
and your mom was there too?
Mom was in the lobby with the other bored moms of stupid children that just will not learn the first time. I am not the first person to be bored during a work meeting, and I had no idea how many of those were going to be coming up in my life.
As a paper boy?
No, as a minion at a workplace that has to go to work meetings.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. They're a factor of life, man. They just can't get away from them.
Oh my gosh. I had no idea that this work meeting was the first of 800 soul-sucking such meetings a quarter for the rest of my life. It wasn't until I owned my own business to where I could hold the work meetings and bore other people.
Wow. It's almost like being set free when you could be the guy doing it.
Oh my gosh. That's the truth.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Fitness. We had an episode called You Gotta Walk Before You Can Whine About It for 40 Years. And that is an episode about a fundraiser that we had when I was in the second grade, where we walked 12 miles to a lake and back.
12 miles in the second grade?
Yes.
I am impressed.
One of my favorite episodes. It got a lot of comments. A lot of people remembered this. And almost weirder, a lot of people that I flat out know were in the more public schools at the time had no memory at all of this. Like, it's crazy. One of them mine started out at East Hills Elementary School. One of them started out at the JC's building on Broadway. I know this sounds like Mayberry, but it was next door to a place that's near and dear to my heart. Or to the crummy rundown grocery store, which is now the funeral home that did my parents' services.
Nice.
Dad's service was where the old meat counter was.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. That a side note, that it was called Jerry's Foods. That was the place where I bought my first whoopee cushion when I was with my mom. I was in the second grade. I got a whoopee cushion out of there, and where I bought my first whoopee cushion was literally feet away from where they had my mother displayed before her service.
And where years before you'd be able to pick up a pound and a half of pork chops too, right?
Yeah. So It's a real full circle moment. Yeah. Mary Herndon bought me a whoopee cushion just feet away from where we would have her memorial service where she was there. So that's a sweet memory.
Oh. I mean, what a memory though.
Yeah.
I mean, surely there's another tie-in.
I don't know. Eddie points out that where my dad was in that building was where years earlier you could have gotten pork chops.
And now it's a funeral home.
Yeah, Ireland Funeral Home, and every time I used to pass that place, I would think that's where Mom would buy hamburger buns and
whoopee cushions.
Well, one whoopee cushion,
right?
That was enough for them to hand an 8-year-old Scott Herndon a whoopee cushion. So anyway, that's that. It was a good year. I appreciate everybody listening. The growth of this thing is both astronomical and very surprising. I guess there's a lot of free time, but I appreciate everybody spending their time with us. And here's to another great year.
Dude, I've been honored to be on a few of them, and I hope to be on a few more next year as well. I think this is a great show you've got going.
Look for it, buddy. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's hit the highlights. Big Bird imagined a whole ass elephant, and nobody saw him.
Didn't Duffaluffagus actually become real at some point?
I think so. I mean, he was real. I saw him.
I saw him too, clear as day.
Yeah, and then that's the whole thing. As kids, like, no, he's really there. And like Maria's like, Big Bird, you liar.
You need to say his name.
What do you mean?
I mean, how can we talk about your bully if you don't mention him by name?
Are you bullying me?
Yeah, kinda.
My childhood bully's name was Ricky Schroeder.
I don't believe you.
Well, this is embarrassing. Ricky Schroeder.
Silver Spoons is the show. I've never seen one episode of Silver Spoons in my life. That did not hit my. I don't even know what night it was, because you used to be able to
I don't either.
tell what night of the week it was based on what the shows were. But I've never seen one episode. But yeah, I remember fully know that Ricky Schroeder was on Silver Spoons.
Yeah, well,
not the actor, not your bully. Who was bigger, you or him?
Well, look, Ricky Schroeder was a legitimate 6 foot tall in the 7th grade.
Oh gosh, he's one of those.
This dude, he was an absolute menace. He was. Let me try to describe Ricky Schroeder. In the 7th grade, this guy was already trying to make his second marriage work. Had a 405 credit score, and razor stubble. Like, this was just. He was the real deal. Right. So when you would go in, first of all, I grew up. I mention this all the time. I grew up in Moore, Oklahoma. The Southside Oklahoma City Toys R Us backed up to the red light district of Oklahoma City. So behind the Toys R Us were strip clubs. So you could go in and, walk in for a G.I. Joe and come out, and there's a lady named Diamond smoking behind the dumpsters.
So you go in there and you buy your little Merlin electronic game, right?
Yes.
And she's giving you your change, and you're like, could I have that in ones?
I get tokens. If you want to see two different kinds of toys in the same square mile, South Oklahoma City had you covered.
Yeah.
In Moore, on Broadway, there was an Army-Navy surplus store not far from my mid-high. And you could get, if you needed some emergency nunchucks and you didn't want to drive all the way to Oklahoma City, you could go there. Chad Goucher. Everybody knows Chad. And so I wish we'd have hung out more because you lived by the golf course. At least I could have gotten name brand soda.
Calm down.
Cecil's Cola, and Cola's in parentheses.
Calm down.
All right. So, yeah, that's
We've all had our share of Dr. Thunder, dude.
Driver's ed teacher would fall asleep while you guys were in the car?
Routinely.
Oh, my goodness.
As I'm typing this, I'm having trouble believing my memory, but it's completely true. One day when we hit the highway from 4th Street ramp, he's asleep by the 27th Street exit there in Moore. So I keep going. It's mid-morning, traffic's pretty clear. I look back at the bemused classmates in the back seat, quietly urging me to keep going. By the time Mr. Pro woke up, we were on the Broadway extension. No, actually, we were past that. We were past Edmond, which is a north suburb. We were a south suburb. We were headed towards Guthrie. I get a little queasy when I see Vacation Bible School signs start to pop up around town. I remember one of the teachers going outside and asking my buddies if they wanted to come inside and go to Bible school. They stopped their baseball game. They considered the request to go to school in the summertime. They're probably continued their baseball game. It was summer. It was vacation. Vacation, anything school is a violation of an implied contract, and no amount of juice and cookies should be able to dissuade that.
No, there were not enough popsicles. Now, granted, I think it's better than what we experienced. But
Dad, listen, if they brought in sewing machines and made us make Nikes under dim lights,
yeah,
it's better.
I think it was more for the parents than it was for the kids, as much as anything, because parents were like, I got something to do with my kids for 3 hours every morning. Mom's going to Target or whatever it is.
That's great. You know what? Now that I think about it, when Mom would pick us up, there would be Otasco bags and TG&Y bags in that car.
Of course.
I don't know the admin part of this as a second grader. I just knew I was peeping out what kind of wireless was going to be that day.
Yeah.
And staring out the window at my little jerk friends with their dirty faces down at the creek having the best time ever. And it was like, Chad, it was like a Disney movie. I'd look out there and birds were landing on their shoulders. And this old black guy playing a banjo and they were dancing. And
hope is a dangerous thing, Andy. Hope is a dangerous thing.
Man, that is the truth.
Don't look out that window. Hope is a dangerous thing.
That is no more true when we were on the playground. And like literally we were caged. And we got to go out to the yard. They should have been like little weight sets out there. And
Gin pop.
And we're talking about it now in our 50s. And so it did something. But, you know, POWs talk about that when they meet up. So I don't know that makes it great.
Yeah. Yeah, they're telling stories about what they had to eat and what they could see on the outside, too. Yeah, they were wanting some Weilers.
Sometimes chickeny.